Ain't it crazy how you intimidate the wounded because you don't move like you're broken? Actually, let me rephrase that. You don't move like you're wounded, and that intimidates the broken. That sounds better. That sounds better. What do you mean? I tell you. Well, for starters, you don't walk around with self pity in your voice. And people looking at you like, why are you not hurt? And on top of that, you don't use your pain for connection, for attention, and for sure, for damn sure, sympathy. But this very thing, the reason, the way in which you move, is the reason why it's threatening to those who have not healed. Because a lot of times, for many people, their entire identity is centered around their pain, centered and tied to their pain. And you, my friend, are a person who doesn't let your pain identify who you are as a person, because your pain does not identify you, does not represent you. Okay, you and your pain are two different things. Okay, who you are as a person, and on top of that, I want to add your pain and also your mistakes doesn't define who you are as a person either. Okay, in layman's terms, what I'm really just trying to say is trauma bonds are common, and you do not operate off of trauma bonds, my friend. For those who haven't healed, they will show pure resentment towards those who have healed. And of course, it won't be expressed directly, but subtly, like through passive aggression and or judgment, through dismissive comments or fake concern. And crazy enough, they'll call you these things, or I should say, they will project onto you and call you arrogant. They will call you distant, cold, or the cliche phrase, you've changed. No, 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 no. What they're really indirectly saying or telling you is that I don't know how to relate to someone who is not operating from a place of hurt. Or more specifically, I don't know how to relate to someone who isn't operating from a wound. Sit with that. Crazy thing is, people will not respect your growth. In fact, instead of respecting your growth, people will instead try to minimize it and poke at it in any way possible. And really, at the end of the day, we gotta ask ourselves or ask them, if you really grew, what does that say about their choice and being stuck, staying in stagnation? That's the question they should really be asking. But maybe that's the question that they're not really ready for, because that requires for them to actually examine their I's and T's, take accountability of where they fall short. But they'll come to the realization it's not because of you, but it's their own feeling of inadequacy of why they feel that way. And they project it onto you. But people aren't ready for that conversation, and people aren't ready to dig deep, because to dig deep is easier to point fingers and project than to look within and look at yourself. Instead of having this false perception, wanting to be casted as good, and yet people will take this very envy and do smear campaigns on your name, slander, all rooted from a person's projection. And you would be going through hell. But again, what people don't realize is that the pain that they cause is the very thing that made you who you are today. You're very strong. Pain only makes you stronger. No pain, no gain, right? It's how I like to say always. When the enemy thinks they're burying you, you're just being planted. And what's in the ground must come up. Ooh, my. But let me know how this resonates with you. As always, I love y'all. God bless, and remember, it's impact over influence, baby.